If you live in Florida, you may or may not know that our garden calendar is basically upside down compared to the rest of the country, which is packing it in for the winter. Our best season is just getting started. But the biggest mistake I see new Florida gardeners make is treating our fall like a real fall, I suppose. They plant the wrong things at the wrong time, and they end up with a garden full of disappointment. So in this video, I'm going to give you 9 bulletproof plants you must get growing for a massive fall and winter harvest in Florida. Let's start with one that everybody thinks is a summer-only plant. Plant number 1 is tomatoes. Yes, tomatoes. Now, you might be thinking, aren't they summer crop? They love heat, right? That's exactly the challenge in Florida. Our summer is usually a bit too brutal for most tomatoes. That's why the key is the key is starting seeds for the right varieties at the right time. And I'm talking about starting seeds to be grown as transplants, not actually throwing them directly in the garden. If you're in North Florida, you're starting tomato seeds August, and for Central and South Florida, you can get started as early as August, in the early September. As for what to grow, Everglades is a classic, but I also love growing black cherry and yellow flame tomatoes as well. Starting them at the right time means they'll avoid the worst of the summer pressure and will literally give you fresh tomatoes all winter long. Number 2 is beans. These are the ultimate confidence booster for a fall garden. It can be tempting to maybe want to grow some complex veggies, but the reality is if you want a guaranteed fresh harvest, plant beans. They sprout quick, they produce in about 60 days, and there are actually some fun varieties out there. Grandma Nellie's mushroom beans is a unique one. They grow these like soft yellow pods, and the beans taste quite a bit like mushrooms. Of course, there's also the classic provider bean if you want something more straightforward. It's a proven workhorse in the South. Beans do best, I've found, when they're directly sown in the garden. This means that we can get these in the ground in August and September. If you have space to trellis beans, grow vining types. But if you don't have space to trellis, bush beans are your best bet. Number 3, the superfood that I think it's a bad rap, gets sweeter after our first cold snap. Kale. A lot of people get scared of this bitter, tough kale from the grocery store. The secret is, though, is that homegrown kale, kissed by a Florida 50-degree night, is incredibly tender and sweet. I love kale. You can plant classic varieties like lacinato, I don't know how you want to say it, also known as dinosaur kale, or dwarf blue curled, or red Russian. I personally, though, I love Ethiopian kale. It's a great green for our Florida garden because it's much more heat tolerant. We can start it a little bit earlier than other kales, but I've found that it also doesn't seem to mind the cold, really. You can direct sow or transplant your kale into the garden. It doesn't seem to mind either. The best time to start kale is late August into September for North Florida. And then in Central and South Florida, you can start planting a little bit later, around the end of September. For all parts of the state, you can continue to plant kale seeds right into the start of the new year. This means that you can literally walk out and pick a fresh salad all winter long. Next up, cabbage. Cabbage is number 4. Cabbage actually grows quite well here in Florida if you plant it at the right time. Cabbage does prefer the cooler weather, and it's a bit of a slower grower when you compare it to kale. Usually takes about 75 days or so for it to be ready for harvest. My favorite varieties, though, are Red Acre for a red cabbage and Savoy for a green one. The thing is, though, not all cabbages have tight heads. There are actually loose leaf cabbages you can plant as well. Napa cabbage is a great loose leaf option for here in Florida. It's probably the easiest of all the cabbages to grow. Grows a little bit faster because it's not a heading cabbage. And the best time to start cabbage is similar to kale. North Florida is August into September, and Central and South Florida is September into October. We are really watching the heat with this one, though. Since it is a little bit of a slow grower, timing's super important. It's best to plant seeds when our average highs get to or below 80 degrees. Number 5, though, let's move along. It's broccoli. And as with cabbage, it prefers the cool. So I've made a mistake planting broccoli too early. It is very heat sensitive and it will bolt if it's too warm. So you have to wait for the first cool mornings and evenings of fall to actually arrive. Sometimes that's in mid to late September, but sometimes it's not until October. Just wait until you feel like fall is finally in the air. You know what I mean? The air smells a little different. And then get those babies growing. I typically will start transplants for broccoli around September. and I'm on the northern end of South Florida in the Tampa Bay area. In North Florida, though, you can start seeds to be grown as transplants in August, and in Central and South Florida, your window may be mid-September to mid-October, depending on the season. As for varieties, Waltham 29 is a classic broccoli that grows well down here in the south. You can also grow a purple broccoli. Kind of cool. A good purple variety is called purple sprouting broccoli. Very unique. Okay, number 6 is kohlrabi. And this thing looks like an alien spaceship, and that can maybe make some people hesitant to try it. I'm telling you, it's one of the most versatile fall crops, tasting like a maybe mild sweet turnip with an interesting texture, kind of firm yet squishy. Not doing a good job selling this, but early white Vienna and purple Vienna are two nice varieties for Florida. The purple Vienna is this super cool purple color, and they both just look so alien to me. I think that's super cool. But planting time for these is similar to cabbage. If you're feeling adventurous, I think you should try it. You could peel it, you could slice it, you can eat it raw with some salt if you wanted to, or you could roast it. That's probably a little bit more normal. But anyways, let's move along. I think I did a bad job selling kohlrabi. But number 7 is carrots. Carrots, homegrown carrots are so nice. Scarlet Nantes is a great choice. Carrata is another amazing one for Florida. There's so many shapes and sizes and colors beyond what's just in the store. The challenge for carrots, though, is getting the right soil texture and making sure that the seeds stay moist all the time. Carrots need nice loose soil, and I found the best way to germinate carrots is to lightly sprinkle them on the top of your soil and then cover them with a piece of wood or cardboard that's wet. That really helps them retain moisture, and it has really increased germination for me. The planting window for carrots, though, is super long, starting in September and running really through the beginning of the new year, like into March, basically. If you can grow some homegrown carrots, they're so sweet and crisp, you'll never go back to the grocery store varieties. All right, plant number 8 is radishes. The beauty of radishes is their speed, but many gardeners really just plant them once. Really, the best approach is to practice succession planting with these guys. For varieties, you can't go wrong with classics like Cherry Belle or the milder oblong French breakfast radish. If you want to try something bigger that's great for pickling, look for daikon types like minnow early, however you want to say it. You can grow these nearly every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, come out and plant a new row, and you're going to have a continuous harvest of radishes throughout our huge planting window. Which is basically from September all the way through March. And finally, number 9 is beets. It's a 2-for-1 plant, a twofer. Most people just focus on the root. The missed opportunity here, though, is that the leaves are actually edible and they're delicious. A lot like spinach. You can cook them up, saute them however you want. But if you're looking for just classic roots, Detroit Dark Red is the go-to standard. If you want something that's beautiful, try the Chioggia. I don't know. I'll put the spelling on there, but it's got this cool striping. Beets, though, if you're trying to grow them, they're best direct sown. The best time to plant in Florida is October through February, as they love the cooler soil. This helps them taste a little bit sweeter, actually. By growing beets, though, again, you're getting double the harvest from a single plant. Roots and leafy greens. Don't throw those tops away. And if you made it to the end, thank you very much for sticking around for all 9 plants. I really hope this helps you grow more food in Florida. If you want to make it even easier, check out this pack of vegetables I specifically handpicked for Florida gardeners. It's dedicated to the fall growing season. It's got 16 proven varieties for down here in Florida. They're known to grow in our Sunshine State. If you want to support the channel and grow more food in your garden, check out the link. I'll put it in the description and maybe somewhere around here. Anyways, really hope this helps. Have a good day.